Yahweh, Jehovah, however you want to say the names of this God that has been given to us by the so-called Jews in their Old Testament. You can't avoid the fact of facing this reality that this deity is a brutal God of war and deception and trickery. There are such things as trickster gods, and this is indeed one of them. One of the things that Christians in particular love to do is this spiritual mental gymnastic that the God of the Bible is not the same God of the Muslims. Okay, and they really take issue with this for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that in the Quran it states that I am the best trickster of them all. This is the words of God himself in the Quran. I am the best trickster of them all. Countless times throughout all of these ancient tomes, be it the Bible, the Torah, the Talmud, this God, Yahweh, Jehovah, however you want to say his name, countless times he is vindictive, forgetting, insulting, jealous, angry, very seldom loving, very seldom compassionate, and I don't even think it's fair to say very seldom. I don't think ever. Very spiteful, controlling, manipulative. Let's think back on the book of Job, where God made a deal with the devil. God himself made a deal with the devil, whom he created. It says in the Bible, I am the Lord, and I have created good and evil. I am all these things. So he created it. So in a way, is he making a deal with himself, contemplating how big he's going to fuck with somebody? Anyway, in the book of Job, he allowed the so-called adversary, the so-called devil, to do whatever he wanted to Job in an effort to try to break his faith in him. So long as he didn't harm a hair on his head, it's written. And so these things were then cast onto Job. He killed like his wife, burned his farm, and got him really sick. Just everything shitty that could ever happen to one on this level of existence on earth. Job went through, because the Bible is just all these religious books are actually just they're words about the trauma that will be inflicted upon you in your skin here on earth. This is a life sentence here on earth for trauma and confusion and disarray and all kinds of crap that comes with being born as a kind of man. Mankind itself, this dualistic creature, legally referred to as monster. Like, the minds of the world that have tried to make some sense about this place can't even figure out an appropriate way to define mankind. Human being, monster, things like that. What is life in this place? So you have like this spiteful and vengeful and evil, pissed off God. He's just so ready to throw you into a lake of fire at the moment of death, because of your time that you spent, the things that you did with your time on earth. Time is sin. You are in the sinusoidal wave, up and down. That's time. Sin is time. Sign. But this thing is going to judge you or have you judged and then decide if he's going to allow you into his kingdom or whatnot after you've done your time here. And you can just see his track record, his history for what he's done to human beings. Even his son never disavowed slavery, kind of thing. Slavery is a very brutal and ridiculous concept on a plane, a planet, a realm with seemingly limitless potential and limitless room for the growth of all of mankind. Go wherever the fuck you want, do whatever the hell you want, just leave people alone. No, we have slavery and wars and psychological and spiritual manipulations. These things keep you locked in a form of a psychological and spiritual prison. But these are subjects that people aren't, they're not ready to consider, because, it would shake up their whole view of life and death and reality. What is the meaning of life? I guess it's to serve my Lord in misery and discomfort and just keep waiting for that day when his righteous, vindictive Son will come and destroy everyone whom I feel has wronged me, and still uphold slavery, and still uphold all the backwards shit and double standards that are held and written in these ancient books. And I'm not speaking with a large vocabulary about this. This is just simple. Stand back and read something. A 5-year-old could say, well, that just doesn't sound right. Well, that doesn't sound right. Why would God do that? And there's something to it. If a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old or a child of any age, children are profoundly intelligent, and one of the things that makes them intelligent is their critical thinking capability and their inquisitiveness. Their desire, no, not desire, but their need to have answers to everything. And this is what as you grow up, you typically lose this because you become so enamored with things like paying the bills and tethering yourself to your job and things like that. So you run out of the time to even consider what the hell is going on around you. But children are a great way to help ground you again. My daughter's always asking questions about God and reality. Why would God do that? Why would God do that? How come people are bad? How come this is going on out there? She's very, very intelligent and very inquisitive. And I've got to teach her the right way, or what I believe to be the right way. So I've got to try to give her as much knowledge as possible, and I definitely have to make sure that I keep her learning. And I was at work anyway. Coming back, I was at work overnight, and one of the things that I thought about was the so-called tree of knowledge. Yeah. God planted this tree, I guess, and this tree itself had knowledge, or represented knowledge, or whatever, And the grand trickster that he is whatever. He said, well, here it is, but don't eat from it. And without knowledge, one is as curious as a child. So he left children in this garden because they did not have any knowledge. They had no knowledge. They had no idea of anything. They were stuck in this alleged garden, and they'd, I guess, been somehow able to traverse the earth and identify all of the animals and insects and things around them, water, trees, shrubs, grass, dirt, sand, clay, they were able to identify these things. They were able to name them somehow without knowledge. There's another thing right there. It doesn't make any sense, huh? But of course, somebody out there has something to debunk that. Well, no, it happened like this. But no, it's all bullshit. So he left this child, Adam, in a garden, and he created a partner for him, Eve, and they had the intelligence of a child, and they wanted to have questions answered and do things, and so they ate from this tree, and then right there was it. They were made self-aware, and it's probably a metaphor for legal standards, legal stance, self-aware. Now you're punished, realistically, it's probably more something like that than just, well, we ate this and now we're in trouble. I think it might have a lot more to do with legal thoughts. Anyway, the trickster, he leaves them in this garden, and they eat this fruit, and they rat each other out like children would do, or immature adults, they rat each other out, and then they lose everything that they could have had, because everything is about, chasing that carrot, this fleeting concept, well, you could have had all this, said the trickster god, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever the hell you want to call him. You could have had all this, but you messed up, I don't know, man. Yeah, Jehovah, Yahweh, however you want to say it, clearly a war god, bent on blood, consuming flesh. But then he told mankind in the book to eat the dust and the plants. But he wants that blood. You gotta sacrifice the lambs to him. You gotta sacrifice the bulls to him. You gotta sacrifice your son's foreskin to him. But this concept is somehow something that these so-called Christians can wiggle themselves around and accept, in spite of all the double standards and hypocrisies. God would not exist with hypocrisy, fallacies, if there's any kind of loose footing, God certainly wouldn't be able to stand on it. So Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, he's a fucking bastardized entity who's hoping that you'll continue to worship him, because when people stop worshiping him, he will cease to exist. He will die. The gods do bleed, and they bleed when you stop giving them your power, your spiritual and your psychic power, your thoughts, your heart. I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. This is Chris with the Age of Reason, guys. Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah, catch you guys later. Both eyes, all three eyes opened at all times, and pay attention. Yeah, by the way, I haven't slept yet. I work midnights. This is just mental meandering and testing this microphone. I hope it sounds okay. It's just a $20 headset from the local Family Dollar.